Imagine moving into a beautiful old farmhouse with your family, excited for a fresh start, only to discover that your new home is haunted by dark and malevolent spirits. This is the real-life story of the Perron family, whose terrifying experiences inspired the hit horror film, The Conjuring. Today, we'll explore every chilling detail of their nearly decade-long ordeal in the Arnold Estate, a farmhouse that holds a dark past and secrets that would torment the family for years. The Perron family moves in. In January 1971, the Perron family moved into what they thought was their dream home. Roger and Carolyn Perron, along with their 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April, found a large 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Known as the Arnold Estate, the house was over 200 years old. Its picturesque, rural setting and rich history seemed perfect for a new beginning. But from the moment they moved in, strange things began happening. It started with small, almost imperceptible anomalies. The family began hearing peculiar noises, footsteps echoing in empty rooms, doors creaking open and shut on their own, and objects mysteriously vanishing and reappearing in different places. Though unsettling, the Perrons dismissed these disturbances as quirks of an old house. However, it soon became clear that something far more sinister was afoot. The haunting begins. The seemingly innocuous events soon spiraled into something much darker. One of the first major signs that something was seriously wrong occurred when Carolyn Perron began detecting a foul, rotting smell in various parts of the house. This odor would appear and vanish without explanation, leaving Carolyn deeply disturbed. Alongside this, she began feeling an unnerving presence, a sudden onset of cold spots, and a pervasive feeling of being watched by an unseen force. The children were not spared from this growing terror. They began hearing faint, disembodied voices whispering their names and feeling phantom hands tugging at their clothes. Shadows seemed to move across the walls, disappearing when investigated. Then came the apparitions. Some spirits appeared benign. The girls reported seeing a little boy in old-fashioned clothing playing with their toys, and an older woman seemed to watch over them, especially April, the youngest. April even named this spirit Oliver Richardson, believing him to be a friendly ghost. But not all the spirits were so benign. The spirit of Bathsheba. As the haunting escalated, one malevolent presence stood out: the spirit of Bathsheba Sherman. Bathsheba was a local figure from the 1800s, rumored to have practiced witchcraft and committed unspeakable acts, such as sacrificing her infant to the devil. Although these were just rumors, the Perrons became convinced that Bathsheba's spirit was behind their torment. Bathsheba's malevolent presence seemed to focus its attention on Carolyn. Carolyn often felt a heavy, oppressive force pressing down on her while she slept, making it hard to breathe. On several occasions, she woke to find her bed shaking violently or herself being physically attacked in the night. Mysterious bruises and scratches appeared on her body, and once, she discovered a puncture wound on her leg that looked like it had been made by a needle, an act she attributed to Bathsheba. As time passed, Bathsheba's presence grew more intense. Carolyn developed a profound dread of certain parts of the house, especially the basement, where she felt an overwhelming sense of fear, as though Bathsheba was lurking in the shadows. The children also experienced Bathsheba's torment. They would wake to find their beds shaking or feel an unseen force pulling their blankets off. Cindy, one of the younger daughters, was particularly affected. She heard voices telling her that 7 soldiers were buried in the walls of the house, which terrified her and caused her to become increasingly withdrawn. The Warrens get involved. By the mid-1970s, the Perrons were desperate. The hauntings had become so severe that they felt they were being driven mad. Seeking help, they reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators known for their work on haunted houses. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, sensed the dark and malevolent presence immediately. She identified Bathsheba as the primary source of the family's suffering, believing that Bathsheba had made a pact with the devil, cursing the house and its inhabitants. The Warrens conducted several investigations, capturing evidence of paranormal activity, strange sounds, ghostly figures, and first-hand experiences. Lorraine felt that Bathsheba's spirit was fixated on Carolyn, attempting to drive her out or possess her. In a desperate bid to rid the house of its dark spirits, the Warrens performed a seance. However, the ritual went horribly wrong. Carolyn became possessed by a dark entity, speaking in an unknown language and being violently thrown across the room by an unseen force. This traumatic event left Carolyn shaken and the family even more terrified. Living with the haunting. Despite the Warrens' efforts, the hauntings persisted. Financial constraints kept the Perrons in the house, forcing them to coexist with the spirits. They attempted to avoid provoking the entities, particularly Bathsheba, but the disturbances never fully ceased. For nearly 10 years, the Perrons lived under constant threat, disembodied footsteps, moving objects, and an ever-present feeling of being watched. Carolyn remained the primary target of Bathsheba's attacks, becoming increasingly isolated and withdrawn. The children were deeply affected as well. Andrea, the eldest, later described how fear gripped the family each night. The constant anxiety and terror took a heavy toll on their lives. It wasn't until 1980 that the Perrons finally moved out. However, the hauntings' impact lingered, leaving indelible scars on their memories. The legacy of the haunting. The Perron family's haunting remains one of the most infamous and well-documented cases of paranormal activity in history. Their story gained international attention when it was adapted into the 2013 film The Conjuring, which, despite some creative liberties, accurately portrayed the core of their chilling experiences. Today, the Arnold Estate continues to intrigue paranormal investigators and enthusiasts. Some believe the spirits still linger, while others see the Perron family's tale as a stark reminder of the supernatural's potential dangers. Andrea Perron, the eldest daughter, has written a series of books, House of Darkness, House of Light, offering an even deeper insight into their haunting and its enduring impact. The Perron family's story remains one of the most chilling and controversial hauntings in history, leaving many to wonder. Can spirits truly reach out from the past to torment the living? Or is there another explanation for these terrifying events? Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the fear and trauma endured by the Perrons were very real. Their story, immortalized in The Conjuring, continues to captivate and horrify audiences around the world. The truth may never be fully known, but the legend of the Perron family will forever provoke curiosity about what really happens when the lights go out. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most terrifying real-life ghost stories ever told. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more haunting tales from the dark corners of history. And as always, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, not every door should be open.